Today we're going to be cooking one of my all-time favorite classics, the bacon, mushroom, spinach, and cheese quiche. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Real Food. We got something special cooking in the kitchen today. One of my all-time favorites. We're going to be making a quiche. Now, for those of you who have never made a quiche, it is really simple, and that's why we're going to do it today, to kind of help you guys make it through the rest of the week. I like eating quiche because, first of all, I can make a bunch of them. I cut them, I slice them up, and then I throw them in the freezer, and they're good to reheat anytime. They will stay in the freezer for pretty much ever. Another thing about quiche is that you can put anything you want in it. The way I go about it is anything you would actually put in an omelet would probably go well in a quiche. And when you see how simple this is, you will be eating quiche probably for the rest of your life. So today we're going to do something, one of the all-time classics, I guess you could say. We got the spinach, mushroom, and bacon quiche, and then we're going to put in some Swiss and some cheddar cheese. And it's all going to happen in relatively no time at all. So don't blink or you're going to miss any of this. So what we have first of all is I have my bacon back here on the stove. It's cooking, okay? We want to get that extra crispy, okay? That's what we're going to do. We want to cook the bacon up really good first of all, and that's going to be extra crispy. And that's how we like it, because that's going to be the bottom layer of the quiche. Okay, so if you guys are so inclined to make a crust from scratch, you can do that. Myself, I like using one of these pre-made crust like this. You can buy them in the store in the refrigeration section. They're very easy to do. You just kind of roll it out like that. And I have made crust in the past, and but you know, for a quiche, this is fine. I don't mind this at all. I'm proud to say I bought this from the store. So anyway, just kind of roll that out, get all the wrinkles out, and then you want to grab a 9-inch pie dish, okay? And then we're just going to kind of gently lay that in there like that. And it should fit pretty perfect, okay? Depending on if it's a deep 9 or a regular 9, this is a deep 9, so it doesn't come up all the way to the top. I mean, just barely made it up there, okay? And that's really all you have to do. Just put it in the pie dish like that. If it gets a little bit high, just kind of crimp it with your fingers a little bit, like that. Okay? And then one thing you want to do, you take a fork and just kind of jab it. Put some holes all inside of it like that. Okay? What that does is that will keep your crust from bubbling up. If there's nowhere for the air to go when your crust is bacon, it's all going to kind of rise up. So this will allow any of the air to escape through the bottom or the sides or wherever you put these holes. And be generous like that. Okay? That's really all there is. So we're going to set this off to the side. Very good. When the bacon's done, we're going to put the mushrooms and the spinach in there, and we're going to cook that in the bacon grease for the quiche. Sounds yummy, right? Anytime you get bacon and grease in the same recipe, it's a good thing. Okay, so what we'll do is while that's cooking, it's almost done. I'm going to cut up probably about 4 ounces of mushrooms, like that. I like going a little bit thick. And the one thing is, you don't want to put these mushrooms in, if you're making a quiche, don't put mushrooms in raw. Because mushrooms have a lot of water in, and what will happen is the egg and everything else in your quiche will get kind of runny. The crust will get all mushy, and you just don't like it. So we're going to cook a lot of the water out of the mushrooms along with the spinach. Okay? So you can go, the thing about this, there's not really any set amount. You know, we'll go for about 4 ounces here, but as far as if you make it yourself, put in whatever you want. If you like more mushrooms and spinach or more bacon, do that. There's no rules. That's the thing. There's no rules in quiche. And like I said, anything that goes in an omelet will pretty much work in a quiche. Okay, so we'll set these off to the side. Also, what I have here, I have like about 3 bunches of fresh spinach. You can use frozen if you want to, but if you have fresh, why not go for it? And this is the baby spinach, the smaller leaves. For this, I'm going to keep the stems on because they're not so bad. And then we also have about 1/4 cup of cheddar cheese and a cup of Swiss cheese. And then we also have 2 cups of half and half. Okay, so the only thing left is the eggs. So it's going to be, going to use 4 eggs. And let's go ahead and just crack these bad boys in here like that. And as you can see, it's a relatively simple recipe we got going on here. Not so bad. Okay. Just going to give it a little whip here. No need to pull out the electric mixer for this. Not really important. You don't really have a lot of heavy mixing to do. Okay. And then we're going to put in our 2 cups of half and half. Just like that. Okay. Kind of mix that off to the side. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to pull the bacon out of there. It looks pretty much done. We're going to pull that out, and then we can go over and we'll add the spinach and the mushrooms and start that whole cooking process. Okay, so let's check this out. The bacon is done perfectly. I took the full slice and just cut them in half, each one. These are like 5 slices of full-size bacon in here, so we got that. And because it doesn't matter if you cut it up or not, because it's going to be chopped anyway. So make sure your heat is back up on high again. Okay, now let's throw in the mushrooms, like this. And we're also going to throw in our spinach. Just let that cook down. It's only going to take a couple minutes. We'll let that cook down, and then when it's ready, we're just going to go ahead and add that to the quiche. What we'll do is we'll chop up our bacon, and we'll start building our quiche. Okay, so there's the bacon right there. And you gotta love bacon, right? You can never have too much bacon. So let's go ahead and chop this up. Probably about quarter inch pieces. You don't want to go too big, but at the same time, you want people to know that it's there. Okay, so let's kind of do that. Okay, this is going to be your first layer. So let's make a little room here. Get our pie tray out and kind of just layer it, just like that. Okay, so let's add a little bit of cheese right now. You don't have to go too much. Okay, there's that. Maybe half of each. So you got your bacon and your 2 types of cheese. Like that. Okay. And then come over here. And we'll pull our spinach out. There you go. You can see, let's take a look at this first of all. And you can see what I'm seeing. Okay. Looks pretty good. It smells delicious too. So you got all the main food groups. You got spinach, mushrooms, and bacon. Okay. What else do you really need? Okay, so that's cooked pretty good. So let's go ahead and just layer that in there. In the meantime, you want to set your oven up. You want to turn your oven on, preheat it to 425. Okay, 425. You're going to cook it in the beginning for about 15 minutes at 425. And then you're going to start to cook it a little bit slower after that, about 350 degrees for about 50 minutes. So there's going to be a little time-lapse video here because we just can't sit around here and wait for this thing to cook. Okay, so there you go. So there's all the main ingredients. So let's put the rest of the cheese in. And it's looking good already, right? Of course. Okay, Swiss cheddar. And then very important next is you want to, you know what I forgot? I forgot to put a little bit of salt and pepper in this little bad boy here. Not too much, but you know, you don't want it to be too bland. So do that, a little bit of pepper. Like that. Okay, and mix it up good. Then just want to fill this up. Now you want to be careful because I'll tell you from experience, this is what happens is that if you fill it too full and you're not paying attention, it's going to go all over the bottom of your oven. And trust me, I've done that a few times. And it's not necessarily a good thing, okay? Always turn your burners off too when you're not looking. Don't want to go to bed with the burners on. Okay, so I kind of ladle this in little by little, just so I don't get too much going in there. And it's got to fill all the little nooks and crannies as you're putting this in there. So just go slow until everything gets full up. And you don't want to go completely to the top, but you want to get it as full as possible, because what will happen is once this thing cooks, it'll start to rise. But then as it cools down, it will start to shrink a little bit. And you don't want like too much of a gully in there. Okay? So that's about good right like that. Okay, so I think I got everything in there. Oh, I also have one of these little bad boys here, which is good to have. We'll put this on about 20-30 minutes in. This kind of fits right over the thing, over the pie plate, over the crust, so the top layer of your crust does not burn. Yeah, I know I'm a food geek, but if you only knew all the contraptions that I had laying around here. But this is perfect, you know. Don't put it on right in the beginning, because if you do that, it won't get brown at all. So wait till it gets golden brown, throw this bad boy on, and you're good to go. Okay, so the oven is up to 425, and we're going to just put it right there in about the middle shelf, being very careful. And there you have it. Now you just sit around and you wait. Like I said, it's going to be, let me set my timer for about 15 here. Like I said, 15 minutes at 425, then dial it back to 350 and let it cook for about another 50 minutes. That's 50 minutes. Okay, and we'll kind of check on that when it's all done. I put that ring on, as you could see, so it kept it from getting really dark. But right now, I mean, that's beauteous. You can see the spinach on there, a little bit of the bacon floating on top. So we're just going to let this sit here for about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to cut into it so you guys can get a see what it looks like, you know, cut away. Okay, so hang in there, and we're going to cut it real soon. Okay, well, it's been almost 20 minutes letting this thing cool. And I got to be honest, you know, every time I do one of these reveals, when I cut into something, I honestly don't know how it's going to turn out. I know you would think, being the YouTube influencer that I am, that everything would be perfect, but unfortunately, it's not always the case. So we're going to do this here, and whatever it is, okay? So actually, I'd like to also give a shout out to my nephew, Joe, in Pennsylvania. He got me this really cool knife for Christmas. I've only used it a couple times, but you know what? It's very, very sharp. So I'm going to just cut this, and you can go, see now, right now it looks like it's, might be still a little moist. I could tell as soon as I make that first cut, but we're going to go for it and see what happens. Okay, so you can do this into six slices or 4, whatever you want. Usually, what I do is I cut it into 8s, and then I have little tiny ones to. So let's just do one little sliver out of this right now. Let's take a chance. Okay. Okay, and the crust shouldn't stick. If you want to give it a little round around here, like I'm doing, just to make sure. But as you can see, it's coming off of the pie pan pretty good. Okay, so we'll just scoop right down. We'll get one here with a lot of spinach. It's funny, I was going through my pie picker-uppers, and this is the only one we got. It looks like it's from the 16th century. You know, it's got all the engraving. I don't know, maybe real silver. But that's all we got. So that's what we're going to use here. Okay, and let's get down there nice and good. Okay, just give it a nice little lift. Okay, I left some goodies in the bottom there, as you can see. And you know what? The only reason that happened, because it's not cool. It's not cooled down yet. But I just want to show you guys, you know, what it really looks like. As you can see, there's all the good stuff right in there. Spinach on top. So it looks pretty good. But like I said, what I would do, I would let it get to room temperature, refrigerate it, and then cut it up into little individual pieces and freeze it and do whatever. But you know what? Being that it's cut, let's just try it. See what the heck happens here. Okay. That's good. Definitely tastes the bacon. Mushrooms are in there. The spinach, it's all there. And it tastes good. That's a keeper. You just never know. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel below there. Really appreciate it. Need a lot of subscribers. And if you want this recipe or any others, just go to realfood.com. That's RIEHL.com. And we'll see you next time. Okay, so enjoy your cooking.